Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Casual Sports Podcast. I'm Alec Koberna. As always, that's Matt Morrison. Mike, not on the show today as it's Thursday. Don't worry, everybody. He'll be back tomorrow. Me and him will get the chance to talk some NHL potentially tomorrow. And, of course, recap what we're going to talk about here a little bit later in the show, the NFL Draft tonight. Before we get to that, a little bit of business we have to get to beforehand. You know what? It's Thursday. We got to run it down for you. The Horizon League going into the weekend. What it looks like, who's taking on who. So we'll start off with the standings. Pretty much the same as we read it off on Tuesday. Nothing's really changed. Wright State's in first. They're 11-4. They got a commanding lead right now. Probably not going to be giving that up this weekend. UIC, the team behind them, at 7-5. Oakland at 9-7. Probably with a chance to overcome UIC if they can get some wins together this weekend. They're just trailing by 0.021% in the conference win percentage, so that's what you need to get that standing up. Youngstown State's in fourth. We're at 500, 8-8. They need to get that up. Behind them, Purdue, Fort Wayne lost 2 straight now. Northern Kentucky below them, 7-11 right now. And Milwaukee, the last team, probably won't see them take that jump up and get out of that last spot going into this weekend. So we'll start you off with UIC. Who do they have going up? Well, they got a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series against Purdue, Fort Wayne. UIC going into this weekend? I don't know. But what do you think? I think Purdue, Fort Wayne might give some shockers here. When you got
they might
10 at Purdue, Fort Wayne,
due.
a couple of more conference games against some pretty difficult opponents so far for them. And remember, they tore it up to start things off in conference play. I think UIC gives them a run. But I'm going to go out here and say it. I think Purdue, Fort Wayne takes this series. I think they go 2-1 against UIC.
I say USC takes 2 out of 3.
That's a fair assessment. Well, Milwaukee coming in 15-21 overall. They have a 3-game set in the Horizon League against Oakland. Milwaukee, man, they've been struggling. Oakland, I think, is starting to heat up. They won their last 2 games. They're just under 500 in their overall record, over 500 in conference play. I think Oakland sweeps this weekend series. Friday, Saturday, Sunday is those game sets.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Milwaukee's at that spot right now. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel for them at the moment. Doesn't mean it's not coming. They could break it, but I think they're lucky to get one. I don't think they take the series. Then Northern Kentucky, they're going to actually have a doubleheader against Milwaukee on Friday, and then Saturday they have a doubleheader going up against UIC. Actually, hold on. No, never mind. It looks like they have the weekend off. So pardon me on that one. They got this weekend off. They'll be using the doubleheaders next weekend. Youngstown State on their side of things here. They will be going up against – man, we faced a lot of people so far. Already so far into the season. It's kind of crazy to think about. 3-game set against Wright State this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday series. And looks like they might be at home.
They might be.
I think they're at home this week. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, they are on the road, but it will be here on YSNLive.com for your enjoyment. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Man, that's going to be a good one. But I think Wright State, they're playing too hot right now. Winners of 3 straight. I think they take the series 2-1 over YSU.
Yeah, Wright State's on a tear right now, and I don't know if YSU can keep up with that. I'm right there with you.
I'd love to see them take this series, but I think it's a hard pull right now.
Oh, it is. It is. So
that gets us out of there. Let's go into the NFL draft. That is what people care about today. Everyone's getting logged in. 8 p.m. tonight, Las Vegas, Nevada. Finally get this draft that we thought we were going to have last year. You know, we heard all the extravagant things that they were going to do for this, pretty much 2 years now. So now we finally get to see the culmination of all that, hoping it lives up to this level of hype that Vegas has built it at. They got the new stadium out there a couple of years ago. They get the draft now. Hopefully they can get some players that stay out of trouble for the next couple of seasons, and they can get something rolling down there because they have a pretty good team, but it just never seems to work out for that fan base, whether it was in Oakland or when they moved to Los Angeles for like a week, it felt like, and then went back to Oakland and now out in Las Vegas. It has been pretty much the worst fan base to be a part of. I think, in my opinion, I'm a Browns fan, so I get through going through bad slumps, and I know Detroit's got to be absolutely awful to be a fan up there, but I couldn't imagine being a Raiders fan. you have great players, great coaching, money to spend. You have owners that are willing to do stuff, make moves, and then everything always falls apart. I feel for those fans as a Browns fan who knows what it's like to be a part of a terrible franchise.
Yeah.
You have no room to talk though. You're a Steelers fan, so you got off easy. You didn't have to worry about a darn thing. You woke up and Big Ben was your quarterback. You came out of the womb with a winning record. Wasn't fair.
No, I was born in '99.
Oh well.
Ben Roethlisberger wasn't until 2004. I had Tommy Maddox. Don't give me that.
Well, I mean, you don't even remember those years. You don't have to worry about it. All right, let's get into the NFL draft. First pick is going to go to Jacksonville, and this seems to be like the quietest first pick we've had in decades. I mean, I swear, Jacksonville hasn't said a darn thing about who's going number one. I mean, normally at this point of the year, we pretty much know who's locked up, and I think a lot of people would go in to assume maybe a good chance of it being Aiden Hutchinson, which I don't know. This Jacksonville squad, they really need offense, man. They need somebody to protect Trevor Lawrence, or else he is going to be dead in the water very soon here if he doesn't get some sort of protection. And I know that's what we said about Joe Burrow, and he did just fine. Trevor Lawrence ain't Joe Burrow, and he doesn't.
Joe
have
Burrow
the
got
weapons
sacked a
of
lot
Joe
too,
Burrow.
though. Joe Burrow got sacked a lot, though.
Yeah, he did, but he still won, and that was the crazy part. But you look at the weapons that the Jaguars have. They way overpaid for Christian Kirk, and then they have Zay Jones and Evan Engram as the three big
Christian
acquisitions.
Kirk, yeah.
Which, I mean, they're good acquisitions. Don't get me wrong. I like the moves. But when you lose DJ Chark, who in the last 5 years has pretty much been one of the top wide receivers in receiving yards, despite the fact he hasn't helped a single team in their ability to win in that entire span. But you look at him, especially fantasy football, wherever he ends up, that is the guy to go to next year because he is always guaranteed to get you double-digit points in pretty much whatever league you're in. He's been great. I always pick him up on my fantasy franchise groups. But Jaguars, in my opinion, they got to go offensive line. And honestly, I think mainly because of the fact that Alabama players, especially the offensive linemen, always seem to make the impact. I think our number one pick in the NFL draft is Evan Neal. The offensive tackle out of Alabama has a grade of 93. Aiden Hutchinson, the top-rated player, is only a 94, so it's a little bit of a step down according to their grades.
Trevon Walker, too.
One-year superstar. We don't know if that's going to go over and put in multiple years. You saw the work pay off in 4 years at Michigan, but is that going to translate to the NFL? I think Aiden Hutchinson, he's going to be a top 10 pick, but I think he's going to be that first guy where you start looking, you go, he's not getting picked. Why isn't he getting picked? Oh, my God, he's not going. And he's going to drop down into that later first 10. He's still going to get a great contract, and he's going to be on a better team because of it. But I think he's going to be that first guy you look at and just go, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, I definitely feel that. But Trevon Walker, Trevon Walker is another edge that they say could go first here. But I think they need Evan Neal. They need offensive line.
Yeah.
You got your quarterback, build around him.
I think that's a big part of it. Is like you got a guy that you're believing in. You're letting him stick around for a second season. Maybe that's because there's no other quarterbacks available really this year that's really getting that first round grade that you're like, I got to burn the first overall on. And I think that's a part of the reason why you haven't heard any quarterback talk in Jacksonville is just there is no market right now for it. But it doesn't matter moving forward. This team needs an offensive line. Whether they want to run the football or throw the football, you need pass protection. And I think that's where Evan Neal fits in. I know Ikem Ekwonu from NC State has –
There's another –
he's the number one position ranking for offensive tackle. But I think this is going to be a number one overall pick that is going off of consistency. Alabama consistently puts offensive linemen in the NFL, and they consistently perform. I think that's the biggest point right now is this is a team that isn't going to want to take a risk from a guy from NC State who played in a really bad ACC conference this year. And, yeah, he did good, but there was really no defensive edge threats in the ACC. Ikem Ekwonu, Evan Neal went up against SEC recruits who are going later in this draft, just a little bit behind him. or potentially even against a guy in Travon Walker who went just ahead, who could potentially go ahead of him in this draft, depending on the way Jacksonville drafts in this one. I think Evan Neal is going to get that boost because he's Alabama and he took on other NFL rookies that are going to be in league this year.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
All right. Well, glad you agree, Matt. Number 2 on the list this year, as always, the Detroit Lions. They brought in DJ Chark, so we'll get to see what they can do. I mean, I hope they can get something going. What don't they need, frankly, though? I mean, 3-13 and one last, pretty much grab the best.
They need receivers. They need receivers, offensive line, defense.
My thing here is when you look at, you need to take the best available. It's going to be Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau, Travon Walker. I don't think they go offensive line. I mean, their offensive line was fine a year ago, and I don't think that's what you need to address here in the first round. I think this is where you see that highest graded guy go, whether that's Hutchinson or Walker. Whoever's highest on their draft board is who's going in this situation. There's no wasting around, fumbling around. Whoa, what pick are we going to get here? You go with the hottest guy coming off the board. If they really want to go and if they want to try and rock the boat here, they do need a corner. So maybe they go with Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati. But I think even that's a risky pick. Taking a non-power conference guy this early in the draft, I don't think that's a risk a team like Detroit is going to take this season.
I don't think so either.
Because I think
can't
right
imagine
now,
them passing
in
that
the
on
NFL, there is such a broad opening of, do we really have a number 1 team going into next year? Because I don't feel like we do anymore. It was always Tom Brady and the Patriots. And, he moved over to Tampa, and it was Tom Brady and Tampa. Comes out of retirement this year. He's going to be with Tampa again, but I don't feel like that's the top team. Rams defending Super Bowl champions. Yeah, but,
they got their dude.
Is what it feels like, right? Everything coming out of this offseason, it just doesn't feel like this was going to be a long tenured thing. Joe Burrow and the Bengals, they're probably going to be a good team, but if they don't fix that offensive line, Joe Burrow's still going to get pounded, and eventually that's going to burn them at some point like it did in the Super Bowl.
He got sacked more than any other quarterback. So
right, and they were still winning games. You can't rely on that to keep happening. So I think that's going to be what they're going to address here on the draft as well, is getting an offensive lineman that's going to pretty much work with Joe Burrow throughout his entire career. I think that's super important to get that offensive lineman who's going to be around as long as your quarterback is. You don't want to have your quarterback having a brand new offensive line every year. Get your guy, solidify him, and let him stick in here. So I think, honestly, you see the Lions go with the best player, maybe Sauce Gardner, maybe Derek Stingley, but I honestly think they go with Aiden Hutchinson or Travon Walker.
I think so, too.
Now, third pick, go ahead.
I was just going to say that, I mean, I don't know if they can pass up on Aiden Hutchinson. Like, they need a defensive dude. They need their Ndamukong Suh.
They need an edge rusher, and he brings that to them.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you're taking a guy out of Ann Arbor and moving him to Detroit. So you already got an established fan base.
Yep.
I think that's going to be huge for them and why he's going to go so high. Third pick is going to the Houston Texans. A lot of turmoil. No quarterback. I mean,
Davis.
I guess, but I mean, according to CBS, a quarterback is not one of their team needs. They need everything else. I still think they need a quarterback, but to that point, there doesn't seem to be a first-round grade on anybody high enough to warrant that top 10 pick.
I say they picked the dude from NC State, the offensive line guy. If not a quarterback.
I think Ike Mekwonu is a good point there. I was actually going to go more offensive guard. Kenyan Green out of Texas A&M. He's not projected to go until the 26th overall. Well, he's the 26th best player available, but he's the best offensive guard in this draft. He got an 89 overall grade, which is pretty good. And when you compare that to some of the other guys behind him, he is really one of the only Power 5 guys that really stood out this past season. And for a team right now in the Texans that I think they're going to take the approach, let's build the team, then find our quarterback. I think it starts on the offensive line, and you got to start inside, then build out. I think that goes Kenyan Green, 6'4", 323, beast out of Texas A&M. And you've seen the way Texas A&M has been able to start kind of building up a profile. I think this is a great run blocker to help this program try and build something. And you need to run the football in the NFL. That's a fact. That is never going away. It may take a diminished role in some seasons, but true rushing football, it will never leave the NFL. And I think you're going to see this team sooner or later is going to start building around the run because the best teams can run the football. And I think you bring that offensive guard in to do that. So I got Kenyan Green going early on. And this is that one spot. Like you go into the first round, especially these top 10 picks, you go, who's throwing the wild card out there? A lot of times it's a team like the Raiders going out there or the Giants, the Jets. Somebody throws that wild card. I think we see that wild card here at number 3. Taking the 26th best available player might be a risk, but I think you take the best offensive guard available.
I think so too. I mean, can't argue against that. I mean, they need offense.
At number 4, this is the one that I think is going to kind of break my heart. It's the New York Jets. And the number 1 position grade that they claim to need here is going to be a corner or an edge rusher. I think you either are going to get whoever doesn't get taken first in Aiden Hutchinson or Travon Walker. That's your obvious pick. But I think this is where you see Derek Stingley come off the board out of LSU. I think Derek Stingley is going to go higher than Sauce Gardner, mainly because Gardner played for Cincinnati. We don't know what he looks like against other NFL players. Stingley was guarding players in the SEC and held his own decently well. He put up good numbers for a couple of
years, too.
Sauce Gardner, he did it for a couple of years, but it was still at American Conference football levels and not what we saw in major games. I mean, Sauce Gardner against Alabama, he still did great. He still played the same level we saw at the American Conference. I think someone will take the risk on him. I don't think it's going to be the Jets.
No, I don't think so either. And the Jets could go wide receiver here too because they need that too. They need Elijah Moore, but they need somebody else.
I just think you don't take one thing that's for certain. Nobody takes a wide receiver in the top 10. In the NFL draft, you never see a wide receiver go. They fall in there the 10 to 30s when you get those first ones. Normally,
seen it before, though.
Last year, we had great wide receivers. They didn't start coming off the board till 15. I think Detroit 15 or something.
I think Calvin Johnson went 2 with the Lions.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it is a pretty long time ago. But, I mean, I can't remember the last one that was picked in the top 5.
Let's see who got picked first last year. I think it. Okay, so we did see.
I mean, the Giants picked at 7.
I'm wrong on that one. Jamar Chase got taken at the 5th pick. Jalen Waddle at the 6th, and Devontae Smith at 10, and then you had Kadarius Toney at 20, and then 27.
Because I think the Giants should pick a receiver.
There. I still don't think any of these teams are like, man, we got to get that wide receiver.
The Giants.
The Giants need freaking everything. I don't know what to be honest, I don't know what the Giants need. The Giants always throw a wild card in here, so I don't even know if I want to pick what the Giants are going because I'm never right on that one. No, but Jets, I think you got a good chance of seeing Derek Stingley go here as the first corner off the board, unless you see somebody else go in front and take Sauce Gardner, which I don't think is going to happen. I think Stingley comes off before Sauce.
He should. That'd be an insult.
Sauce Gardner put up the best numbers in the class, but I think you're going to get that SEC status that promotes Derek Stingley. And that SEC status is what's going to hold them as being that best conference in college football because they're established. They've been there. They don't seem to ever take down years. Big Ten, they can be great 5 years, but then they're going to be crap for 5 as well. So, SEC, they've established that, and I think you're going to see a big jump because of it. So at the 5 spot is, in fact, the New York Giants coming up right after them. If they take a wide receiver, right now, best one rated here.
They pick at 7, too. So
yeah, so they got 2 chances here, which I think is good for them. I think you most likely see them take a safety and a wide receiver. I know that they don't say that, CBS doesn't have a wide receiver as one of their needs, but it's hard to pass up on a wide receiver, especially when they just saw their rival in Philadelphia take Devontae Smith and start wrecking him, and he caused some chaos like instantaneously down there. I think they follow suit a little bit, and I think the Giants go Jamison Williams. 3rd wide receiver right now in the class.
You talking about at 5 or at 7?
At 5. I think they go wide receiver first here at 5. They only have to worry about the Panthers picking right behind them, so I'm not concerned they're going to take a quarterback. I don't know what Panthers are going to do. I think they probably they could go for that safety. So you know what? I'll flip that around. I'll go Kyle Hamilton with that first pick from the Giants, the safety out of Notre Dame. I think he's the first safety to come off the board, a solid guy out there. Obviously, Notre Dame was in contention all the way into the final weeks this past season. A big part of that was their secondary, and he was a big piece of that. I think he's that first safety you see. Then with that second pick, the Giants are going to go with Jameson Williams, first wide receiver off the board.
Yeah, they could. I don't know about Jameson Williams. I don't know. It's that whole ACL tear that's got everybody thinking, like, is he going to be ready to go?
I saw him play at Ohio State. Yeah. I saw him play at Alabama. He's a stud.
Oh, he is a stud. But you could either see Garrett Wilson go here, too. I mean, they got Brian Daboll.
I think Aiden Hutchinson's going to fall. I think Ahmad Gardner's going to fall. I think Garrett Wilson is going to fall.
Garrett Wilson kind of reminds me of like a Stephon Diggs. And you got Brian Daboll, who was in Buffalo. He's got the hands of a guy like
Diggs, definitely. I see that. And
comparison. You have Brian Daboll just hired with the Giants, and he was offensive coordinator in Buffalo. So
I would hate to see Garrett Wilson end up in New York. I'm not going to lie. Sorry, Giants fans. My roommate is a Giants fan for a little bit. His family's from New York, and he's just
really,
yeah. And
the one right here.
Sorry, the one right behind you. I just don't think I want Garrett Wilson wearing that red, white, and blue in New York. Sorry, I want him to have a good career. I'm sorry. I don't want Daniel Jones throwing him the football.
Danny Dimes. Danny Pennies.
He's going to be working for dimes if he keeps throwing it the way he does. But that sixth pick, going to the
Panthers pick.
This is the one that's got me a little rattled here. I think.
Honestly, I still don't have a problem with Sam Darnold. I don't. He started off great, but I don't know. You should give him another chance. I think you should add offensive line because he didn't have that with the Jets. Now he didn't have it with the Panthers. I say they take what's his name from Mississippi State, Cross.
Charles Cross. That's who I was just looking at. Third ranked offensive tackle, top 10 grade.
None of these quarterbacks are good. None of these quarterbacks, I think, are going to be your top guy. I'd rather have Sam Darnold than. I
think our quarterbacks are going late. I honestly think that. I think we're going to have a couple mid-rounders, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mid-round first quarterbacks, I think, is where it's going to fall. We gave the Giants second pick already. So Falcons fall at number 8 here. I think a big spot for them. They're going wide receiver. I think 100%. You got to get some targets out there. And with that, we know that they like to go big. I think it's Drake London, second wide receiver off the board behind Jameson Williams.
You get Drake London and Kyle Pitts there, man. That's
you put so much size out there on the field, and it's going to be hard to stop. I think they're going to go tall ball out there in the football
and
field.
They got Marcus Mariota now.
Yeah,
Mariota will be their quarterback. He can sling it. And
did Matt Ryan retire?
Well, Matt Ryan is the Colts now.
Oh shoot! Right.
Yeah, you forgot about that.
That's gonna be weird, man. I completely forgot about that. I would have been in for a culture shock beginning of the season. Like, wait a minute, where's Matt Ryan? All right, yeah. I completely forgot about that move. Yeah, but no, I think you're gonna see Drake London go. Number 2 wide receiver on the board. I think he goes with the 9th pick. Seahawks are going. I think this is our first quarterback taken. They got a lot of potential. They need a quarterback. The Seahawks, your team.
Yeah,
your secondary,
or quarterback. But they're still. I think they're still kind of hanging on to the Baker thing. Like, what is going to happen with Baker Mayfield?
I don't know, man. But right now, they got Drew Lock, Geno Smith, and Jacob Eason. I think there's a chance they stick with them, but I wouldn't be super confident in that. They almost are in a position they're screwed over if they don't. I think Malik Willis fits the Russell Wilson build. I think he's got a lot of similarities. A super strong arm. He's mobile. I think they go Malik Willis here. I think that's our first quarterback taken. I think he goes at the number 9 spot.
All right.
I don't like the pick.
Or number 10. Number 10.
No, Seahawks have the 9. They traded with the Jets.
Oh, okay.
Seahawks got the 9th pick when they got rid of Russell Wilson, and the Jets traded with the Seahawks to get that 10th pick.
Okay. So
yeah, a little bit of a change up there. Yeah, so Seahawks at 9. I go Malik Willis.
It's either Willis or probably like a Kayvon Thibodeau for defense.
Yeah,
They
if you're
need
gonna
some
throw a
defense
pick
too.
out there, yeah, that's a good call.
I
I think
know.
Thibodeau at this spot. Actually, no, I'm saving Thibodeau for that next pick. For number 10, Jets are taking Kayvon Tibbs.
The Jets with him. Yeah.
What I gave them an
Probably gotta
offensive
go Willis.
lineman at
I
first
want
pick.
Seattle to pick Willis so Pittsburgh doesn't pick him. Like I
Oh,
want
dear.
him to go off like this. You can pick any quarterback, just not him. Like I'm not surprised. I'm not very like I'm not thrilled with
Forget
any of the
it.
quarterbacks, but
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not really thrilled with him.
we gave the Jets an offensive lineman with that 4th pick, so I think they take a defensive lineman with the 10th.
Okay.
I don't remember who exactly we gave. Then the Washington Commanders have the 11th spot.
I say they pick your boy.
Right now, you think they take Sauce?
No, I say they pick Chris Olave.
Really? You think they mix Olave over there with McLaurin?
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Dude,
That'd be
the only
sick.
problem with that, those two players are freaking identical. You look at the talent set, those in build, you're putting two nearly identical position players next to each other.
Yeah.
In that, I don't know if that's where they go with that. Honestly, this one's got me stumped. Because Washington, another team, they need.
Who's their quarterback?
Let's see here.
Is it still
Carson Wentz?
Oh yeah. They're gonna need some receivers.
They're going to need a lot of things to go with that. So I guess the one thing you can say is they're not going to need a quarterback. Well, they do, but they're going to try it out with Carson Wentz. I think he wasn't bad with Indy last year. I don't mind it, but I think they got to get that. No, you know what they need? They need to get that defense back to where they were last year. I think this is you're gonna see your first linebacker head off the board here, and I think let me see who we got available. I think you probably see. I hate to go with the top guy because that never happens, but Nakobe Dean's a good pick from Georgia. You got Devin Lloyd available from Utah, Christian Harrison,
he's good.
Clay Walker from Georgia as well. You have 3 Georgia linebackers in the top 10 for grades this season in the draft. Really stands out how great that defense was.
Yeah, it does.
But I think you see Nakobe Dean come off the board. I think they go defense here with the 11th pick.
Yep.
Vikings up right behind at 12.
I say they go Sauce Gardner.
You think they go Sauce? All right. I don't think that's a bad pick, but I haven't taken Garrett Wilson off the board just yet. And I think this is a strong spot to potentially see him go. Put him up there. You already talked about the comparisons to Stephon Diggs. You know that fan base, they loved Diggs when he was there. He made some great plays for them. I think you mix Garrett Wilson with Justin Jefferson. Boom, you just created an epic 1-2 punch up there in Minnesota. I think that's got the makings of something special. So I'm going to take Garrett Wilson here for the Vikings at the 12th pick.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. Well, 13th pick is originally the Browns, but it was traded over to the Texans. So Texans got the pick here.
I say they go Jordan Davis, the dude from Georgia.
Yeah. Honestly, this is a dude that I think should probably go higher, but I'm right there with you. I think they get that defensive tackle. I don't really think they need one, but he was such a beast last year. I think that's a hard one not to go for. I think they do that, or they take the center from Iowa, Tyler Linderbaum, ranked to go 29th potentially. But I think when you got a potential center, not a lot of teams are going for centers this year. I think, in my opinion, not a lot have that team need. That's not one you really see a lot of anyways. But I think when you got a second chance for a pick here, I think you go offensive lineman again and you bolster that thing. So I'm right there with you on either Jordan Davis or the center from Iowa.
Yep.
Well, now we got to talk in our division here. The Ravens, they have the 14th pick. Such a loaded team. This team can only get better in this draft, and they can get a lot better too. I think we got a lot of big names still out there on the board. I think we pretty much knocked off our top 13 guys. I think is what we've knocked off. So Jermaine Johnson is the highest rated guy still left on ESPN's best available we're at this point in the draft. and he's a defensive edge rusher. Honestly, I don't see that as a bad pick. You look at best available, and you got a good shot there potentially. Either that or Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle out of Georgia.
I like Trevor Penning here. Offensive tackle. I like Trevor Penning here because Villanueva is like old and can't guard, so they need offensive line.
And that is a good call, and he is one of the highest offensive linemen left on the board here in the top 25. I think that's a solid notion. Only thing, FCS school, and I think that's always something that makes guys fall down.
Northern Iowa.
It's Northern Iowa. They play in the best conference in the FCS, but at the same time, it's still at an FCS level. I think that always hurts players to have that. So
that's why I
like Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State. I think that's another solid pick for him there.
That's why I didn't see what's his name? Oh man, I can't even remember his name. The dude from North Dakota State. I know Wentz went there. I wasn't high on Wentz.
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. Yeah.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah, like
my backup pick though for the Ravens. Everyone always talks about the wide receiver core. Jahan Dotson. Penn State players are always some of the most underrated players in the draft. We know this. Micah Parsons fell, became a stud. Saquon Barkley got taken early. He was a stud to start, kind of slipped off because of injuries. I think Jahan Dotson's got the potential to become the next wide receiver off the board. And Matt, you know this always happens. Your favorite guys go to the teams you don't like the most. It happens all the time. And I really
wanted J.K. Dobbins to be picked by Pittsburgh. And then he goes to Baltimore. I was pissed.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't like that one very much either. I wanted him for Pittsburgh too. I thought that would have been great. They get Najee instead, though.
But we did get Harris last year, so I guess. Yeah. But
I think Dobbins and Harris back up there. 15th pick goes to the Philadelphia Eagles here currently, and their first pick of the draft, I believe it is. Yes. And at the moment,
if Hamilton's here.
Their biggest needs are defense. So most likely defensive guy or potential wide receiver as always. But I think they loaded their wide receiver room. Their offense was kind of fine last year. I think I can live with it. See if they build on it year two. I think you have to go a defensive player here. And if Jermaine Johnson isn't off the board, I think they go that way. Or Trent McDuffie out of Washington.
If Kyle Hamilton falls, the Eagles will pick him. It'd be a steal for them.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, after the Eagles, we have the New Orleans Saints. They acquired this one via trade with the Eagles. This was originally their pick. Saints right now, man, take your pick. What don't they need? I mean, they got every position they need to fill. I think if you don't have Dotson off the board, it's him. Traylon Burks, I honestly think they're going to go wide receiver, tight end potentially here. Trey McBride's the highest ranked tight end. He's not very high. I think you see a lot of third, fourth round tight ends this season. But we already took off a lot of guys off that wide receiver board. And I think we're pretty much capped at how many we have go. I think Breece Hall, if they want to go running back here, but mainly for that, how much longer does Kamara have left?
Yeah, I don't know.
How much more does he have in the tank? I don't think it would be a terrible pick to maybe pick his replacement behind there. But I think it's got to be offense, and I think it's got to be something exciting. I feel like this fan base, they need some life to it. So, yeah, I'll go Traylon Burks, John. I think they're taking a wide receiver, and the one I have left right now is Traylon Burks. So that's who I'm going with here at that spot.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. I say they can go wide receiver here too. They can go offensive line, but I think they need to add another guy here. They could add another Ohio State. This is the Saints. They do pick at 19 too, don't they?
Yeah. I believe so.
I say they pick a wide receiver either there. And if they add another Ohio State guy with Michael Thomas, that'd be good.
Yeah, but I don't. No, that's right. I do still have Olave on the board. Forgot he's really far down on this list. He's actually.
You have Dotson going over Olave.
Honestly, that's only because I accidentally read over Olave's name. But I still think Ravens are either going to take Olave or Dotson. It's happening. It's going to suck, but it's going to happen.
I don't want to.
I don't want it 17th pick
Pittsburgh.
though goes to the LA Chargers, and currently their team needs offensive tackle, linebacker, tight end, wide receiver, corner, running back. Pretty much take your pick here. Oh, man, we have two really good linebackers in my opinion this year: Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall. Both these guys were awesome coming out of Iowa State. Huge guys, both getting massive NFL comparisons. Breece Hall is getting the Alvin Kamara treatment. Kenneth Walker, he's projected a similar comparison to Kareem Hunt. I think those are both fantastic comparisons for these guys. I don't know if the Chargers take a running back this early, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
When they still need an offensive line, I think that's a big piece of this. And I think you might see them go offensive line, especially on the inside. I like Trevor Penning, offensive tackle, but I think they're going to go a little bit closer inside. I already took Tyler Lindbaum off my list here, so I'll go Cameron Jurgens, the center out of Nebraska. If they don't go him, I'd give it to the number 2 ranked offensive guard in Zion Johnson.
I'd say they either go Zion Johnson or Devin Lloyd, the linebacker from Utah.
Yeah, I know they need defense, but I feel like we're such an offensive-oriented league that you see a lot of these teams, if it's edge rusher or skill player. I feel like you don't see a lot of those defensive guys that you should at this point of the draft. 18th pick, though, yet again, it's the Eagles getting this one here in the first round. So we're closing in on 37 minutes. Well, we gave Eagles defense last time around as well. I think they probably stick it on defense here again. And I think I'll give Devin Lloyd out of Utah on this one. Either that or Daxton Hill. Safety.
I see them go with the dude from Florida. Kair Elam, the cornerback from Florida. I bet you Eagles take him.
Where'd you say?
I can't really say his first name is Kair.
What team?
Oh, the Eagles.
Yeah, Matt. What high school? A college team?
Oh, Florida. Is that a Florida?
Florida. You sure he plays corner?
That's cornerback right here. Elam from Florida. You not seen him with that? Oh no, this is what he's got.
I got Noah Lamb out of Florida on this list, man.
Let me look.
Bro, I don't even see anybody from Florida.
There it is. He's right here.
Oh, there he is. I just looked over. I'm an idiot. You're right.
You meathead.
Yeah, there it is. We went right over him. Well, didn't you tell me safety? He plays. Oh, no, I guess you did say corner.
I said cornerback.
I'm just an idiot. It's okay. It happens. I was up at 7 a.m. today. It's the earliest I've woken up in a long time. Cut me some slack today.
Okay.
19th pick. It's the Saints. We gave them a wide receiver last time. I think they probably go offense this time out. With that being said, still got a couple guys left on the board here with higher picks. I think Tyler Smith out of Tulsa, he was awesome, dude. He put together an awesome season out of Tulsa. Kind of got buried because you don't see a lot of clips out of Tulsa, but that team had a great season this year. I really liked watching them. I think you got him, Cole Strange out of Chattanooga, or potentially Donovan West out of Arizona State. 3 offensive linemen, 3 different positions. I think you see Saints go offensive line here with this.
Me too. Probably the same guy you said.
Matt, finally, 20th pick, your guys, Steelers. I'll let you go on this one. Who do you think? Right now, it says CBS has your biggest needs as offensive tackle, offensive guard, corner, defensive tackle, quarterback, wide receiver, linebacker. And I perfectly agree with that list. I think that's
I do too.
Need. That should be every position. There are 7 rounds in the NFL draft. That should be your picks in all 7. Is those positions. That should not be deviated from.
The wide receiver class is loaded here, and I don't know if I really think they should pick wide receiver here. But
to your point, with it being loaded, they got some time to pick a wide receiver. You don't have to burn it early. I mean, look back at the guys in the 15th spot. David Bell out of Purdue, who put together phenomenal numbers. Out there.
I like
Justin Ross out of Clemson is the 21 rated guy. You got Kevin Austin Jr. at Notre Dame at 25. And this is an absolutely loaded class of wide receivers, to your point.
I like George Pickens from Georgia.
Bro,
Pickens.
One of my late picks here in the draft that I think might be an early season kind of flash is going to be Fry Fogle out of Indiana. This guy's ranked 37th in the wide receiver class. If he goes somewhere, he's gonna make some noise. And then Britton Covey out of Utah is ranked 42 out of 43. Britton Covey,
they have time to pick a receiver.
He was good.
They have time to pick a receiver.
That's the point. I think they wait. I think they wait on the
wide receiver.
They
have time for a quarterback too. Honestly, I love them. If they obviously they need a quarterback when they have two guys on our depth chart right now, Rudolph and Trubisky. So we need a quarterback. But I'd honestly love to see them get Desmond Ridder, but he's not a first-round guy. Yeah, I really like Desmond Ridder, and I like the kid from Western Kentucky.
Like this quarterback class. Not for first-rounders, though. You're right.
Yeah.
Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, Matt Corral, and Sam Corral. All fantastic second, third rounders, not to mention Carson Strong, Bailey Zapp, Skylar Thompson, and Jack Cohn are your next guys up.
I like Carson Strong. The dude from Nevada, Carson Strong.
They put together a phenomenal season. You've got Brock Purdy down here.
I like Brock Purdy.
He's the 14th ranked guy out of 14 quarterbacks, so obviously he is getting no love right now. But remember last year? Last year, Brock Purdy was projected to be the best quarterback in this class, and now he's last place. Yeah. Numbers don't just change like that. Brock Purdy might be the steal of this draft. This might be the guy you go and look at in 5 years and went, man, was he undervalued?
Honestly, or
he's a guy you're not going to remember in 3 years.
I really don't know who they're going to pick here. I don't. It's not clear cut. Like last year, I knew they were going to pick Harris.
Right, you needed a running back that was desperate. I think when you're working now with new quarterbacks, I think the offensive line is going to be huge for you guys. And I think you really got to work on the outside. We have such great edge rushers right now in the AFC North and around football. You really got to work on the outside, then move in.
I'm not linebacker is like the last need they would need because they just signed Miles Jack, okay, and I think he's a heck of a linebacker. The dude from Jacksonville.
How about this one? You guys like Ohio State players sometimes. I go Nicholas Petit-Frere of Ohio State offensive tackle.
Yeah, I like that too. I'd love them to pick. If we pick Garrett Wilson or Olave, I'll be crapping.
I just don't know if you see those guys falling that far. It's such a loaded wide receiver class. We're in an ancient of offense right now.
If we pick up Dotson and you have Dotson matched with Pat Freiermuth, that'd be sick. That would be fun, man. That'd be sick. So I don't know. I just don't want them to pick Malik Willis. Just not him. If we pick Kenny Pickett, I'll be all right.
Take a quarterback. I just don't. I think they're going to try one later on, but I also think you're going to see the Steelers take a quarterback next year. The Trubisky experiment is going to be fine. I think in 1 year that might keep them above 500, but I think they're going to trade down next year for a quarterback when you got guys like C.J. Stroud and what's the guy from Alabama? Why am I blanking on this?
Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young, when they come out next year. I think those are going to be your guys. Oh, come on, don't give me that. One of them has to perform. They're both such studs.
All right.
Best quarterbacks we have in football, and they dominated. They were awesome.
CJ would be sick. CJ and black and gold.
I hope he becomes that first Buckeye that does something because it's been a while.
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't mind CJ Stroud being the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, that'd be
fun. That would be fun.
That'd be sick.
It would hurt as a Browns fan to get beat by him twice a year, but it's fine. We have Deshaun Watson. Hopefully he stays out of trouble and we get to actually see him play at some point. Well, who knows? Yeah. He doesn't have a suspension at the moment, but
this is honestly.
We got 15 minutes left in the show, Matt. 21st pick is going to the Patriots. With Billy B, I think you got to go defense on this side. I think you play it safe with him. Christian Harris out of Alabama. I think that's who I go with.
Yeah, that'd be good.
A lot of linebackers that we haven't even looked at right now. I think you go linebacker. Either him or, you know what? He takes risk like this. David Ojabo coming off an injury right now. He's such an awesome lineman, linebacker, whatever position he's going to play, he's going to be a dominant force. I got a feeling. I honestly like Ojabo better than I like Hutchinson.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But
Billy B could be a guy to pick somebody from
Patriots.
Billy B could be the guy to pick somebody from Boston College too. So
yeah, Boston College, or you just see him go and pick Zion McCollum, the quarterback out of Sam Houston. If that happens, heard it right here. 46 minutes and 10 seconds into the show, Zion McCollum to the Patriots as a corner out of Sam freaking Houston.
You would. He doesn't care where they're from.
He doesn't care where you're from, what your name is, what you look like. If you can play football, you can play for Billy B. Packers, though, have the 22nd pick. They need a wide receiver. That's clear cut. They lost.
They've never picked a wide receiver in the first round, though.
Yeah, I think they're going to hand over the reins this year and let their man Aaron Rodgers take the pick finally. They have to let him take the pick. After everything that happened last time, they can't afford to let this guy get pissed off again. And with that, I think they're going to take somebody probably from a northern team, most likely. I like Christian Watson, North Dakota State, Sky Moore out of Western Michigan. Alec Pierce out of Cincinnati is a guy I really like to see. But I think you got a good chance at a guy like David Bell out of Purdue. He's a little bit farther down in this list.
Yeah.
And there's probably guys that are ranked better than him that are ahead of him. But I think you got to look for cold weather players in this situation. He's one of those guys that fits that Bell.
David Bell is like a spitting image of Rondell Moore.
No, I think they're two very different guys. They're both speedy, but he had a terrible 40-yard dash. Only 4.65.
Yeah.
That's nowhere close to what Rondell put up. But you look at the numbers alone of what David Bell did, I think is enough to give him a high grade here. And maybe not a first rounder, and maybe that's a bit of a stretch. Maybe we're going too flashy here with it. But I think you just have to get Aaron Rodgers a guy that he can work with, because I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be absolutely ticked off if he doesn't get a wide receiver this time.
I think so too.
And Matt, this is what's funniest about it. Packers right now for the CBS and the 22nd pick. Team needs, they have wide receiver listed twice. Not once, twice.
Twice.
Yeah, wide receiver, offensive tackle, tight end, defensive tackle, edge rusher, and a wide receiver. It's very clear they need a wide receiver.
Yeah.
You lost Devontae Adams. You have to put something in there. I think
they lost Scanlon too, didn't they?
The Packers trade up in this situation to get a wide receiver.
Yeah,
which
they
sounds
lost Scanlon too, didn't they?
Wide receiver in the first before, but still.
Yeah, they lost somebody else too, I think. Scanlon.
They lost Zadarius Smith, Lucas Patrick, Oren Burks, Billy Turner, and Devontae Adams.
Oh, okay.
Cardinals are the next ones up here. 23rd pick. They lost Kirk, Jones, Edmonds, Hicks, and Phillips. I think they got to get that defense back in order. I think they got an offense that's going to work just fine, but I think they need that defense.
They need to figure out stuff with Karlaftis
out of Purdue.
I like that too. I like Karlaftis out of Purdue here, but I think they need to figure some stuff out with Kyler Murray too.
That's going to come. That's going to come with them in more time. And maybe this is where you see Bryce or Kenneth Walker to be their running back. But I don't know if you see I don't think we see a running back go first round this year. I just don't think there's much of a need for it right now in the NFL. There's no team that has a glaring hole when it comes to running the football.
No, I don't know. But you look at some of these players, and some players could have big impacts with teams.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it.
Of course you are. I mean, let's see. What's our running back situation like in the NFL right now? I mean, they say Arizona, they don't have one. So, I mean, I guess you could see it, but
I like the combination of James Conner and who's the other dude? Edmonds.
There's no free agents. Edmonds left. I just said that.
Oh, geez, that's right.
Edmonds is gone. James Conner's a free agent. And Jonathan Ward is an ER free agent.
Oh, geez.
Restricted, but they only have one running back under contract, and that's Eno Benjamin. So maybe this is the first spot you see that running back. In that case, if we go running back on this pick, it's hard to say Breece Hall won't go before Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker was he was the one and done, I think, type player that you're going to see. I think you see Breece Hall, that first running back off the board. He's got to be. He put together 4 solid years at Iowa State, man.
Yeah.
All right, 24th pick. Wish Mike was here to give us thoughts on it. It is the Cowboys with the 24th pick.
I say they go Jahan Dotson here. They could very well go with a receiver. They picked no more, obviously, Amari Cooper to the Browns. They did pick up James Washington, who I think will be a threat for Dallas because Pittsburgh is absolutely stupid for not putting him in more than they did. They should have made him one of the top receivers, but they put Ray McLeod in. Now he's gone too. McLeod's gone too.
Yeah.
So that's their fault right there. So if you put Washington and who else do they got? I mean, obviously CeeDee Lamb and Gallup, but
I just don't see them taking a wide receiver in the first round with those two guys already solidified as their 1-2. I think Cowboys go offensive line. They can never do enough offensive line in Cowboy territory. You got to have some mamma-jammas out there.
Mike didn't even know what pick they were.
Sean Ryan, offensive guard out of UCLA. 4th-ranked offensive guard in this year's class. UCLA obviously didn't live up to the hype, but he started 31 games at left tackle for UCLA and a great pass rusher. He can be great at run protection too. I think he's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
I like Sean Ryan out of UCLA. Next pick up on the board here after the Cowboys. The Bills. Yeah, Bills at 25.
My Bills, man.
I think this is a good shot. You see another corner come off. I feel like it's been a while since we've taken one on the board here. I think they need some defense a little bit more.
Yeah.
And we haven't taken a lot off. I know
they could sign
the board. Andrew Booth out of Clemson. I like that. Roger McCreary out of Auburn, I think is a good one.
We could see some signings, though, with Buffalo.
Yeah. We could definitely see some signings. I think they're going to be a place that a lot of guys are going to at least look at. How about this one? This one's for you, Jaquan Brisker. Send Brisker to Buffalo, move him over to corner. I don't mind that.
I'd love Pittsburgh to pick him up, too. But
you would love Pittsburgh to pick up every single Penn State player.
Yeah. I like Brisker here, but listen to this. Hear me out. I love Devin Singletary. I think he's their main guy at running back. But just imagine Singletary or Breece Hall back together. That would be sick. And they just signed Duke Johnson.
Yeah.
That would be
interesting to see. 26th pick, though, goes to the Tennessee Titans. They're saying that they need a linebacker here on the outside linebacker. Man, I don't really love this position. Boy Mafa out of Minnesota, or let's see here.
It says here Tyler Smith.
Leo Chenal out of Wisconsin.
It says here they need an offensive line.
Yeah, they need that too.
Tyler Smith from Tulsa.
But I feel like Titans have been they have a great offense and they can run no matter what.
Yeah.
So I feel like they got to go defense here with the first pick. Plus, we've already taken off so many offensive linemen on the board.
Yeah, we did.
I feel like half of it. We're granted that is like the most needed position in football. Plus, you need 5 of them. At a minimum, you need 5 of them. With the injuries that we keep seeing to offensive linemen, that's only going to keep bolstering up. So Buccaneers have the next pick here as we got to kind of speed through the rest of these ones. Buccaneers at the 27th pick. They're claiming they need an offensive line here. I don't hate that. Bringing back an old Tom Brady. You still got to make sure he's got protection back there. I like Jamari Salyer out of Georgia as the offensive guard.
They don't have any glaring needs.
No.
I say I don't know, maybe experiment with another defensive line guy. Maybe.
That could be a potential.
There's that dude from Houston.
We're at this point in the draft where you can experiment.
Yeah, there's that guy from Houston.
Next one up, though, is the Packers yet again. They got the 28th pick here, and I think they go offensive line. Luka Godecki out of Central Michigan.
That's fair. They could go defense, too.
Yeah, you could. I mean, they did just lose Adarius Smith, but they lost 2 offensive linemen in Lucas Patrick and Billy Turner. So 29th pick is the Chiefs. They acquired this one via the Dolphins, who got it via the 49ers. And right now, Chiefs claim top need is wide receiver. I still think they got Juju Smith-Schuster. I think that fills that just a little bit here. They lost Tyrann Mathieu, Shavarius Ward. They lost Austin Blythe off.
Well, Matthew didn't sign anywhere yet.
What?
Matthew didn't sign anywhere yet, but
no, not yet. Back. They did bring in Justin Reed, though, as a replacement. So I think they probably stick it to the defensive side. We've already taken a lot of corners off the board.
What about the dude from Minnesota? Boy Mafe, he's the edge from Minnesota.
Oh, an edge rusher. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. You think they go edge? I know it's one of their.
They might. This is what Daniel Jeremiah says. So they pick 30th too, don't they?
Do they? Probably. Yeah.
Don't they
they do. So they got 2 picks in a row here.
So they probably go wide receiver when one of those picks.
You think they go wide out with one of those? I don't think that's a bad call. Yeah, I'll go guy from Minnesota. I don't know why I can't access edge rusher here. It's not working off on my end. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't see a guy from Asizi Alemawu. I think they go that way. Man, we got some wild names here. Zuriki from Iowa State. Either that or you see Tyreek Smith from Ohio State. No. I know who they're going with. Jeffrey Gunter out of Coastal Carolina, baby. Woo! Shot to clears. Clear the way. The fighting chickens are coming. Boom. There's my pick. Jeffrey Gunter is going to the Chiefs out of Coastal. Bengals, though, at 31 here with just about 2 minutes left to go in the show. My opinion, Matt, they still need offensive line. Got to pick an offensive lineman. I don't care if they made it to where they were. They would have won the Super Bowl if they had an offensive line. So I'll give them – I think they take a center. They don't really need one, but I think they can move them over to the offensive guard, and I think we got better players available right now at this spot. I got either Luke Fortner out of Kentucky or Alec Lindstrom out of Boston College.
No, Lindstrom would be great there. That'd be
these guys. Our centers this year though have some terrible grades. Like first guy in Tyler Linderbaum is 29th best in the class. Cameron Jurgens, who is second, is 62nd, and then Donovan West is 121st. He's the 3rd rated center. So I mean that's a big jump to see them. You probably got a better chance of seeing another offensive guard like Jamari Salyer from Georgia going in this spot. Yeah, and then our final pick in the draft goes to the Detroit Lions. At number 32, the only way they got this one was because of a trade. They will never be picking 32 legitimately as their pick. Probably see them stick it some more defense here. I'll go outside line and Drake Jackson out of USC.
All right, just a pause here. Somebody's knocking on your door.
Well, we got to wrap up the show anyway. So that does it here for the Sports Podcast. I'm Alec Koberna. That's Matt Morrison. We'll be back tomorrow. See ya.